this isn't a video I ever wanted to make. I never wanted to make this video. I just didn't want to face the facts, man. It's but it's all there, all the evidence. SpongeBob is dead. Now, the first thing you should know is obviously SpongeBob is not the most realistic show. This is obvious, right? You got working cars, drive underwater, fire underwater, talking fish underwater. We even have water underwater. They literally have a lagoon underwater. Makes no sense, right? Until you consider one thing. It's not real. None of it's real. It can't be real. SpongeBob is a story. This young adult man-child trying to make his way in the world. And it's just weird how it takes place in this weird fantasy setting. It can't take place in a real fantasy setting. Because it's the ghost world. It's the afterlife. Heaven, hell, purgatory? It seems more like purgatory to me. Well, first thing we gotta realize is SpongeBob was not always a happy, smiling, young adult sponge. Before, he was probably a happy, not as happy, young adult man, human. And the thing is, back when SpongeBob was a man-human, he worked this rundown burger/seafood joint for his crabbing, greedy boss, who he and the co-workers jokingly just called Mr. Krabs. That was like the one happy facet he got with his co-worker, who he called Squidward. Because he was with the squid, with all those hard-working jobs he could do. Well, sometimes he'd be lazy. But basically, SpongeBob was not satisfied with his work anymore. He just couldn't do it anymore. So one day, he decided he was going to leave. He was going to leave it all behind. He was going to follow his dreams. Drive that boat. And just go. Be free. But the thing was, he didn't exactly know how to drive it that well at all. And what ended up happening is the boat crashed after he was miles offshore. He landed on this small, deserted island with a single palm tree. You might recognize it as the island from the opening. And what ended up happening from there, SpongeBob spent the last of his days starving on that island until he died. As he rotted away, his last joy was like looking at those funny little fish he saw swimming around in the ocean. And he was just, as he entered his last moments of sanity, he started jokingly imagining them as his friends from before. He even met a single squirrel who had happened to live on the island. He didn't think the squirrel would last much longer either. And so, SpongeBob, due to his terrible boat driving, died on that island. He's stuck in purgatory, writing the fact that he can never drive that boat good enough. Never. He can never be free from that horrible dead-end burger joint job. Just forced to put on a smile for all those co-workers and customers, and so he just like left this life and entered purgatory. And isn't it obvious? You could see his dimly best friend from before, his only happiness in life, his co-worker, his boss, his friend Sandy, who just moved in, or you could say he moved into her land when he went to that island. Yeah, but that's the end of anime series number 2. SpongeBob is dead.